What's up guys, Dr. Shak here, welcome back to another video. It's Tuesday, so let's talk fighting.
Let's talk now.
Next middleweight fight shouldn't be Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland, in my opinion. At least for the title fight. It just shouldn't happen, and I have a lot to say about that. I feel like a lot of things have to happen first, so here's my take. Alright, let's get right into this, but first if you're new, definitely consider subscribing. I'd argue that Adesanya, of all the middleweights, doesn't, at the moment, deserve the title fight for the middleweight champion. I get that Adesanya convincingly beat Pereira in UFC 287, but look, I mean, this wasn't the first time he was champion, and he had to reclaim the throne. The first time he lost, which was to Alex Pereira, it was to a guy who pretty much was destined to win the entire middleweight division. It's honestly a good thing that Alex Pereira made it to the light heavyweight division. Well, first of all, the fact that he walks around 215 to 220 and has the ability to come down all the way to 185 to fight in the middleweight is nothing short of ridiculous. In the first fight, Adesanya, I'd say, was pretty close. He had the upper edge, he almost won, and there was a point where Pereira was actually saved by the bell. All it took for him, though, was one punch, and that was in the later rounds. And Izzy lost to his ultimate rival that's been there since his kickboxing days. The rematch made sense. He wanted to avenge his loss in the UFC because he just couldn't get the better of him in MMA. Or in kickboxing. So Alex Pereira, a big dude, who if he stayed in the middleweight division, was, in my opinion, gonna starch every single fighter. Because he could cut 40 pounds from his natural walking weight, knocking out the champion, who was already naturally at 185. Really? Of course, that's a travesty. Yeah, so that's why Dana White was like, okay, there should be a rematch, and I feel like a lot of people wanted that. That's why 287 ultimately made sense. So then why doesn't Izzy get a second chance? Because Sean Strickland is a natural middleweight, and he convincingly beat Izzy. This wasn't some off night for Israel Adesanya. Sean Strickland literally beat him. He had more things that he did right in that fight that costed Adesanya the belt. And I mentioned it in my last video. Sean Strickland set the tone when he first knocked Izzy down in the first round. Now, Strickland won fair and square. There's nothing more to it. I think if Izzy hyped up another middleweight fight, wins that, then I can understand that he should get another title shot. Which brings me to my next point. I think that what should happen is Izzy should fight the winner of Costa versus Chimaev. I know there's already bad blood between Costa and Izzy already because they don't respect each other one bit. That being said, the Chimaev-Costa fight is a different and necessary fight for the middleweight division. Now, Costa is a pretty good fighter. No disrespect there. With Costa is just enormous. He's got a huge frame. He's a very muscular dude. And yeah, in the world of MMA, muscles don't make fights. Look at what Israel Adesanya did to Derek Brunson, who called him out for not lifting weights.
Israel, you're skinny, bro. Hey, you better lift some weights, man. You're skinny as hell. I'm not worried about you, bro. I'm an All-American wrestler.
I might be the ugliest, but I'll whoop your ass any day.
Big left down right. Now the uppercut.
Well,
I feel for Costa, the fact that he's very jacked and just very big, it contributes a lot to his takedown defense. His athleticism makes for a good wrestler. For example, against Yoel Romero, there was a couple of times when Costa brought him to the ground. Costa showed a lot of wrestling skills. Now, on the other hand, Khamzat is very athletic as well. And for that reason, Khamzat and Costa literally would be different because Khamzat comes from the welterweight background and he made his way up to the middleweight. So I think it just spices things up. And I think that the winner of this should be in contending for the title fight. I honestly think that Chimaev should win this fight so that he could fight Adesanya or have a shot at the title fight. Now, the Costa-Adesanya rematch would sell. It's just that I think that the Chimaev and Adesanya fight would sell a lot more. Just because Chimaev has more of a journey and has more to prove in the middleweight division. If the winner of the Costa-Chimaev fight beats Adesanya, from there, whoever wins all that should fight Strickland. And yeah, that's my take. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for your support. Leave a like if you're new and comment on what you think. I always like keeping it real. See you in the next one. Peace.